And welcome, ball boys and girls, to the FC13 podcast. But on YouTube today, we've got a pretty special episode for you. We're actually going to be doing something that everyone likes to see and doesn't, depending on what your opinions are, and that is a tier ranking list. We're going to be taking the entire Canada squad, and we're going to be putting them into what we believe is the most comprehensive and inclusive list possible. It's not arguable. It's fact. That's just how it is. So, boys, are we ready? How are we doing today?
Ready as we'll ever be. Yeah, we're going to be the experts on this. Not that opinions matter. Totally not.
Yeah. If you watch any of our other stuff, you know that's how it goes.
Yeah. We are qualified and certified by the University of Facebook.
Exactly. And thank you for Paul for coming up with this idea. So
yeah,
the stress we will have on predicting if these players should be in or will not be in is going to be a little tight, but.
Yeah. So remember, if you've got problems with it, it's Paul McNulty at 96.
Alrighty, so let's go. We'll get this going for you guys.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of tiers involved in this here. We're depending also on the player's ability level. There we go, perfect time, and it's just came up there. Getting used to this YouTube word, knowing where to point. So we have the Alphonso Davies tier. That one's going to be pretty self-explanatory as we go on. We have the elite tier. These are the players that we feel like are central to Canada. If Canada want to do anything, these are the players they need to have in their team. This is what makes John Herdman's side click. We have starters. That's the rest of the players who make up the first 11. Impact subs. Those are the guys that we can look to on the bench to come on and make a real difference in the game. We have squad players. Those are guys who we could see going to Qatar. They might play, they might not, but we think they'll get a call up. And then we have the bottom tier, which we couldn't think of a better name for, so we just put get a new passport. You're not getting on the plane to Qatar, and for some people it may be more egregious than others. It may be a more close run thing, but you're gonna go into the get a new passport tier whether we like you or not.
All right, we'll kick this off. And who do we have first here? Is that Miller? Is that Kamal Miller?
We have Mr. Kamal Miller, centre back.
Not a big question.
I can't believe that you had to question that, Michael. Of all the fanboying. Oh, so it was just like affirmation for yourself.
Exactly, and to be fair, part of his head's cut off. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, thanks, Canada Soccer. We got all these.
Sorry, go on.
We got all these pictures from Canada Soccer website. So Nick Bontis, if you're listening, just to we're giving you full credit for that one.
And Kamal Miller, without a doubt, I don't even give a shit if you think he's a starter or elite. He's elite.
I think he's elite.
Thank you.
I'm not doing this just to be difficult. I mean, he might. No, we're going on the Canada list. It's all for what? No, but it's also, I don't know about on the elite part. Because we do have a couple years ago, sure, but we just have a fairly stacked roster. He's not going any lower than starter, by no means at all.
He's somewhere between starter and elite. I don't want to put too many players in elite because that kind of dilutes down what it means to be elite. Yeah. I do think he is a key part in that Canada defense. Yeah, I would say we could put elite now with the ability to change our minds later. If we
ability to change, but I control the mouse and simple as. But next we can move on to another one boy I love, Theo Corbeanu. Sorry, Paul, go on.
Theo Corbeanu, forward, 7 appearances, 2 goals, currently plays for Blackpool. I feel like if you asked me a couple months ago, it would have been get a new passport / see you in 2026. But he seems to be playing well for Blackpool. He's been involved in the last squad, being so close to the World Cup now. I don't think he would have been put in that squad if there wasn't at least a somewhat thought in the back of John Herdman's mind to include him in the squad. I think he's going to get on the plane. I don't think he'll make much appearances at the World Cup. If any, maybe just a couple of minutes at the end of games. I definitely think he's going to be a squad player for Qatar, though.
So this is where you and me don't agree. Now, I do agree. I am playing him as a squad player, so I'll go ahead and do that now, unless Andre has something else to say.
I was going to stick him at impact sub, to be honest. I think that's pretty well-rounded.
So, if he didn't have that part where he fell off the squad, impact sub right away. But we've yet to see him come on as an impact sub, right? He comes on and he plays. But we haven't seen him really make a huge impact while coming on as a sub. So I think a squad player for Corbeanu is a great spot for him, in all honesty.
Yeah, I'm by no means am I disagreeing.
We will probably change this as we go along.
But yeah, there's probably going to be a couple
never
changes.
Been considered get a new passport. I can promise you that right now.
Well, I didn't have a C in. We should have made a C in 2026 tier. I'm thinking now, but like we'll move on.
All right, so who's next there, Paul?
We have Luka Koleosho, the sort of unknown X factor. He's
He
a
keeps
winger.
getting called, but
Yeah.
never gets the starts.
He's
or
a
plays.
winger, plays for Espanyol, no appearances so far. He actually can play for the US as well, I believe. So like maybe in Canada's best interest to play him sooner rather than later if they do believe in him. He's been called up in the last couple of squads. So, but on that basis, you can say squad player. He very much falls in that bottom tier to squad player for me. I think it's going to depend on who else we put in this squad, boys. I want to put in. Can we skip him? Can we go back?
No, that's not how it works.
Okay,
I gotta go in the squad player because like we can't say get a new passport because we haven't seen him go.
But that's the thing, though. He's been called up twice now and still hasn't played. But he is still so young. How old is he, Paul?
He's like 18.
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like this should be a theme between squad player and new passport because that's where he is.
But again, they're keeping him in the squad player because, again, he's been called up for a reason. So it's just a scenario of there's talent above.
It happens all the time. Like Theo Walcott got put in the 2006 England squad and didn't play a single minute.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate scenario, but he plays for Espanyol. So
if he does somehow get to the World Cup, I don't think he's playing.
Yeah, so squad player.
Yeah. It's a big if, though. We'll see. But you know what? I'll go with you guys for now.
Yeah, we can move him out if we think we have to.
And who's this next guy we got here?
This NPC is called Christian Gutierrez. He plays for the Vancouver Whitecaps and has made 0 appearances for Canada at any level. He was called up to the 2021 Gold Cup squad as like an emergency player if Canada needed him, but didn't actually train with the squad. Getting a passport?
You have Mr. Alistair Johnston.
I think this one is another one we may disagree on.
100% starter.
Oh yeah,
100% starter. But this is
I think just starter.
That's what
I think Canada could function without him because of Laryea. Like elite to me is like irreplaceable.
See, I can see people arguing that we have Miller in elite and Johnston starter, but I actually agree with that. I would have rather have Miller in the back than Johnston, and I love Johnston. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'd rather not have Johnston, but at the same time too.
Yeah, I think he's kind of starting right back, and I think he's deserved it based on his form this year.
But he has huge potential on moving to somewhere else.
Oh yeah, he's only 23, 24. Like we could be putting him in the elite category in a couple of years possibly, but right now I think he's a firm starter.
2026 World Cup Canada, you're elite. But as of right now, going to Qatar, we're going to put you as a starter because we know you're going to be in the lineup. We know you'll be in the
100%.
Now, I think we have our next elite player
on the
list. The next elite with Tajon Buchanan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tajon Buchanan.
The club.
Right winger, 25 appearances, 4 goals, 5 assists, plays for Club Bruges. Elite.
Yeah, I can't think of any other spot. I mean,
this guy has literally the dream. Like his story is a dream story for any Canadian playing grassroots. He came up from League One Ontario, got to the MLS, really started to get noticed at the U21 Canada, and then he blew up, and now he's such a crucial part of this World Cup squad. It's amazing, honestly.
I think we're really seeing the benefits of League One Ontario.
Yeah, right here. They both came from there, did they not?
Yeah, Kamal Miller did too.
Exactly.
Like
so did Johnston.
Yeah.
All we're saying, Barcelona. Okay. All we're saying.
So next we have, I'm not sure if I know this guy's name.
Mr. Frank Sturing.
Okay, that is Sturing. I thought so. Okay.
Yeah.
So me and Paul were talking about before the start of the filming there. I actually follow this guy quite religiously. He's on a very good second division Austrian team who's challenging for promotion. He's a key member of that. And I believe he played 2 games at the last Gold Cup where he did score, but we haven't seen much of him since. How old is he, Paul, you said?
Mid-20s, I think.
Mid-20s. His time for Canada is likely done. To me, he's another one that goes between squad and passport.
Yeah.
But more on the passport side.
I think Canada just have too much depth at centre-back.
Which is insane to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's insane. The fact that we're even able to get a new passport to any of these players now, that's a new one for us fans. So if you're watching and you're new to Canadian footy, holy shit.
So I'm a fan of you, but unfortunately, you just don't crack that roster. And Frank Sturing, I don't see being at the World Cup.
Good night,
maybe if he made a move to the top of the Austrian league, we could have seen something there. But the fact that he's in the
that could-
second division,
that will jump up in a second because that gives
Yeah.
you access to all of the other European leagues and all the other cup competitions and blah 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 blah. So if he moves up, that he's getting bumped
yeah.
up as well.
But again, it's just one of those situations where I kind of wish we had another tier there because I think he falls under that, even though he is more on the passport side.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is entirely on me.
It's okay.
Paul McNulty 96 at Instagram.com.
That's great. Now we
Um,
have Canada's backup keeper, Maxime
Yep.
Crepeau. I mean,
I gotta put him in
goalies-
starter just because of in my opinion, he has done a lot of good for us.
he did in the last
Ooh,
Gold
this is
Cup.
spicy.
He did in the last Gold Cup, but that's all we really seen of him.
I think he
And
made just as many
he's not going to
appearances.
play at the World Cup. I mean, if there's an injury to Borjan, there's actually a debate who starts next game. In all reality, because St. Clair's had an amazing season.
I
Mhm.
think Sinclair might be the successor, but based on experience at this point, Crepeau would get the start. Like I think he
I
made
agree,
a lot of appearances for Canada in 2021. He was
But,
Whitecaps player of the. Yeah, he made lots of appearances in 2021 for Canada.
but
He,
does he get starter role when we know Borjan is that starter?
I don't think
wouldn't he
he's
technically
usurping
be-
Borjan.
Wouldn't he technically be impact sub?
I think it would just be. I mean, you don't look to bring your goalkeeper on as an impact sub. I think it would just be a squad. He's
go to
not
the
Tim.
World
He's
Cup.
not Tim Krul. I would say he's just a squad player.
You put him as squad. See,
He's a
Whoa.
goalkeeper. He's only going to come on if there's an injury.
I gotta put him at starter. I think LAFC's season this
Okay,
year has
so-
been such a good indication of how good he can be.
We are all over the
okay,
place on
okay,
this
I'm
one.
gonna put him. Okay, so Andre says starter, Paul says squad. I say impact. Why don't we just settle on impact because that's literally
Yeah,
the
it's
middle
right in the middle.
ground.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
in the middle.
yeah.
And the
So,
event that Canada
first-
goes to penalty shootout and they want to bring a goalkeeper on. I don't even know if he's good at penalties or not.
Oh, I've
You-
actually got I've got a
good,
question for you
good.
boys before I forget. This is totally unrelated to the tier list. What happens during a penalty shootout if the keeper gets injured?
Like during the shootout?
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
I
Maybe it's
you
like
get
that.
to sub him out.
You ever
I
seen that Scott
imagine you
Sterling
could.
video? Maybe it's like
Oh,
that.
I was watching the Sterling video. That's exactly what made me think.
Maybe
what
it's like
happens
that. You
during a
got to put him up in
penalty
the deck chair.
yeah. So
So
Yeah, no,
comment
that was
section
a
below.
fun
Make
one
sure to
there.
let me know because
Yeah.
you're all going to talk about it anyway. So make sure to let me know what happens.
next we got I think our next impact sub, in my opinion, Lucas Cavallini.
100%. I'm not putting him as starter. I'm
No,
not a
he's not going to
chance.
start. He's not starting anything.
I just don't think with the past performance and temper, unless there's an injury, but even that I would consider an impact sub because he's just been put in place of somebody else.
and quite frankly, that's his best role in Vancouver is coming in as a sub and scoring.
It's hard to leave out a guy with 32 appearances, 17 goals, and a bunch of assists for Canada, and he's only 29. Yeah, I would say that's the impact sub. There was some talk of it was going to come or not after his crunching tackle in the Nashville game. Yeah, but I imagine he's going to be there.
Yeah, same here.
Mhm.
All right, next. Oh, gee, I wonder where we're going to put this lovely fellow right here.
Oh, I'll get a new passport for sure.
Can
Can we put him in elite just to really piss everyone off?
We'll
I
put
think,
Jonathan
honestly-
David there instead.
I was about to say, Jonathan David creates a good fucking argument, though, because I think people would put him in the same tier almost as Davies, no?
Based on the league right now, the scoring sheet, I genuinely think he has to go there. He
But
has
can we
more
put
than
Davies up here?
Neymar. He has more than Messi. He has more than Mbappe.
Yep.
The
Like
reason I call it the Alphonso Davies tier is just like this man has symbolized like anything good about Canada in the last couple of years, like almost since his rise and
Mhm.
to prominence, playing for Canada and breaking through with Vancouver, going to Bayern Munich. It's been like gone so hand in hand with Canada becoming such a big team, like a bigger team in terms of their standing against the World Cup. He's been, he's had his moments against Panama. He's attracts so much attention. He's an exciting player. He's a household name. 10 years ago, you didn't have any Canadian players who were a household name across Canada, did you?
beyond Sinclair. And
Oh, yeah, sorry, like the men's game. Apologies.
yes. Make sure to specify
thought we
that.
had I think people knew Hutchinson, maybe.
I don't know if like the
Maybe.
average person would like. I know people who know
Yeah.
who Davies is, and they don't know a thing about the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did open it up for a lot of players to start getting looked at, to start being considered, and
So that being
Like-
said, then where does Jonathan David go?
I would put him off to Davies.
I'm putting him. Yeah, I'm 100%.
Thank you.
I think the
Thank
two
you.
of them together on a field are just we're guaranteed to pop off a goal or two.
I agree. I was going to say this more as a joke. Think you guys won't agree with me, but I'm okay with that. Jonathan David.
I'm 100% okay with that.
I think the Davs, both of them, are fucking just absolute mint.
Yeah.
The 34 appearances, 22 goals, 11 assists. I think if anyone's going to score for Canada's World Cup, it will be David.
Yeah,
I think he's the most likely to score.
He's playing some of the best.
He's playing lights out.
He's got more goals than Messi, and if you want to call it a Farmers League or whatever, remember he's not playing for PSG, so he's got more goals than them, and he's not playing for PSG. The scoring tab is basically him and then PSG. Like,
I think we can move on then. I think we're pretty much agreement with David. But is this Donald Henry I'm looking at right now?
Yeah, it's Doniel Henry.
Maybe controversial to me, but I don't think he's at the World Cup this year. I think he's not.
I mean, I don't think it's controversial at all. Get a new passport.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I thought we'd have a little bit of backlash there, but
at most squad player, but yeah, I can't.
He is a very experienced player, 44 appearances, but like he's had a bit of a disastrous second half of the season.
And I think Waterman actually took that out of him.
He usurped him, yeah.
And Waterman took it from him, yeah.
It's sad for Canada not to have an unattached player in the squad as is tradition, seeing as he's left Toronto. But I think we're going to have to break the cycle there.
Yep. All right, so next player, another player I'm a big fan of, Liam Miller. I personally would have him in the impact sub role, but you guys could shoot your way.
I can. That's good for me.
I mean, he has been an impact sub during most of the campaign, hasn't he? I mean, most of his appearances I believe off the bench. 16 appearances, 2 assists. He plays for Basel. Like, people may not know much about the Swiss league, but like it's a decent level. Swiss teams, like, they are competitive in Europe without like being in that like Germany, England, and Spain tier. Yeah, if you guys want to take a look at what we've got so far, and we are aware that we can only have 26 players in the squad, so we may have to do some cutting at the end. Don't worry, bear with us. We know what we're doing here, believe it or not.
Basically, you guys are going to be cutting squad right there. Don't worry. All right, so moving on.
Who do we have next?
Who was that?
Tyler Pasher.
Guys, do you know of him?
That's
I
a real
believe
person.
he plays in... Is he the guy that plays in Northern Ireland?
He's a free agent. He was last playing for New York Red Bulls.
Yeah, sorry. He's that MLS guy that everyone expected to sign, and he never did. Okay. I was thinking of somebody else, but that's okay, because I do not have this guy in the squad anyways.
No.
Yeah,
you're not with a club, you're not with a squad.
Getting a passport. No club, getting a passport.
To our boy.
Oh, this might be another controversial one.
We haven't really even had one. He's elite for me, though. I'm just saying it now.
What did you say?
He's elite. He's 100% elite.
Laryea?
Oh,
yep. For Canada, 100%. For club, no.
He's not the starting right back.
And he didn't have a great window last one.
I thought
you can't be elite if you don't start.
This can. Absolutely you can. Absolutely you can.
I personally have him as a starter.
I have him as impact sub.
I think he's going to start at least.
I mean, by that, Paul, you're saying on YouTube that Ronaldo is not an elite player.
Yeah,
not anymore.
No.
I'm just going to year 2022. Cristiano Ronaldo's not elite.
Make sure to let him know. That's all I'm saying. No.
Okay,
so shame in that. He's very
Andre wants him in the lead. Paul wants him at impact sub. I have him as a starter because I do believe he's going to start at least one, possibly 2 of those games, if not all 3. He can't start all 3. He could take over Johnston. He really could.
But if Johnston's a starting right back, would you rather have Laryea than Johnston?
I'm not saying what I'd rather. I'm saying what could happen.
But like, we can't have them both at the starter tier. One of them has to be an impact sub.
No, because if you
can,
that's bullshit.
It's our tier. We can do whatever the fuck we want. We can have them all in Alphonso Davies if we wanted to.
No, because you have 3 games, right? You have 3 games in the World Cup. If you think one of these players will start one, they could go in the starter.
I feel like you got to play more. You got to start more games and not to be in that tier.
I
don't think Herman's going to make many drastic changes throughout the campaign.
I think any starting squad that we could see Laryea in, which I could see happening, he deserves a starter spot.
I think he's impact. Oh well, it's 2 against 1, but I think he's impact.
To be honest, you think he's impact sub. I think he's elite, and Michael thinks he's a starter. We'll just stick him in the starter. It just makes sense.
2 right back starting, baby.
Yeah.
To be fair, Laryea
maybe do start 2 left backs, I guess, with Davies up front. But
and
sure,
Laryea could play further up while Johnston plays right back.
Yeah, he could play defending mid. Like he's oftentimes in the 18-yard box. So
yeah, he could definitely do that.
I could again. Davies is technically a fucking defender, yet he's in the box constantly.
Yeah,
So
that's true too. So now we go on to our next guy, and who is that lovely face I see there?
That could be his mugshot. That is Harry Payton of Ross County.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
you can Google him. He was called up
We
for the
could-
gold squad, but
not much
let's
debate
just
there.
move passport and move on.
yeah.
All right, St. Clair's next. I have him as a squad because I do believe with experience, Crepeau gets the call over St. Clair. So even though I think St. Clair has had a better season, or at least a more recognized season, I think Crepeau still has the number 2 spot. So St. Clair, as of right now, is a squad player.
I think there's no disagreement here.
Yeah, he's been doing quite well for Minnesota, so I think
Really good season,
absolutely.
yeah. But you'll be there, buddy. But you're gonna play. Only have 2 goalies getting the same car wreck.
Oh boy! No, now
There's got to be a better analogy.
Now
there.
you've cursed us. Thanks.
Probably is. Sam Adekugbe, baby. We all love him. We all know him. But is he elite or is he a starter?
I would say starter.
Starter,
Which,
okay, I agree.
Again, same as Johnston to me. He's like itching to. He's closer to elite than starter, but he's just not on that level of the elite yet. But like he's been an outstanding player for Canada. Barely puts a foot wrong. You know, he had that goal against the US and he had that celebration in the Mexico game. He's given us all the Canadian heritage moments. Thank you for that, Sam.
Who do we got here next? I know that face, but I can't think of a name. Is that
Theo Akinola?
Oh, that's Akinola. Oh, yeah, that's a passport.
2 appearances for Toronto.
Akinoli's a passport for me. He's been with the squad up and down over the last couple of years. Never been really that impactful. He's having a good year.
Yeah.
Last
year he had a great year with Toronto, but this year it's
yeah.
I fucking hate saying this because I love Akinola, but he's got to get a new passport in that one. He's just not. It's not when he's good. He is on fire. He is dependable. He's reliable, but that's not consistent enough. And that's
young, but he's not younger than David or anything. And it's just it's the same as we're talking about centre back. There's too much depth up there.
Yeah, I agree. And now we got Ismail Kone.
Yes,
the man, the legend. Impact sub.
Starter.
I'd put him at an impact sub. I'd put him at an impact sub.
Who the hell are you putting him in over?
Hutchinson.
You monster! Get out! I know this is your idea. Get out, and you do not remove the legend.
Like a one-legged 39-year-old over him.
No.
Michael just completely. He
just agreed with me.
Hutchinson is in. He states he starts. We don't remove that legend.
He's just back to training.
Here's my problem. Even if you take a Hutchinson out, you do not put another forward in. He's an attacking guy. You want someone more defensive.
What? No, he's a defensive midfielder.
He's small?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't watch that much Montreal, but he looks very attractive on attacking on Canada.
He is a defensive midfielder.
We have these roles mean dick all in Canada. Alphonso Davies is a defender. Okay? Like, Laryea is a defender. They have goals. Those positions don't mean fuck all in Herdman's world, okay?
Well, to me, Kone's an impact sub, and I think we'd get Mark Anthony Kay in over him.
I wouldn't even put. No, I'd put both.
We'll get on to Kay. With 3 games.
We will get on to.
Can I make my case?
Yeah. I say Story's an impact sub for sure.
So here's what I'm looking at. Osorio, he's been injured, but it's up in the air if he'll play, and if he does, he's barely trained. Hutchinson, it's up in the air, and he's barely trained. Are you telling me he's better than Piet? Are you telling me Piet's much better than him? Are you telling me Mark Anthony Kay is better than him? Kone is a quality. Yeah, Kone played great against Uruguay, and he's been great for Montreal. And I don't care that he's 20. As far as I'm concerned, being young is a good thing. You're going to go into that World Cup without any fear. He's got nothing to lose. And we basically said it before, he's a championship player effectively, because if the circumstance would definitely be playing in England. If he was playing in England right now, people would be much more willing to say he's a starter. I think he's a starter.
I think you're ahead of yourself. I think he's going to be, but he's not there yet. You threw out Uruguay, so let's look at Uruguay and Qatar. Who started both of those games?
Who impressed better?
Who started?
Who impressed?
No, because Piep was clearly the more reliable player.
So what we're going to do
is thought Kone was the better player between the two in the Uruguay game.
We'll put him in the impact sub with the intention of being in between starter and impact sub. Anyways, next sub. We will be on here forever.
So where are we putting them?
Because it's 2 of us saying impact sub. If anyone's listening, he's technically in between. If we could literally sit him there and he didn't slot into space, we'd sit him right in between.
Canada's a democracy.
Yeah.
If he starts against Belgium, I will make a public apology.
mean,
But
this is on
until-
YouTube, so ladies and gentlemen, clip that.
until
Yeah.
then. Okay, so next we
There's
have
Derek Cornelius.
impact sub in my opinion.
We got to have some
Yeah.
centre backs in the squad as well. We can't just go with the starters and call it a day. I
Okay,
feel
fair.
we probably need at least 4, right? So
4
I have,
starters?
well, no, like 4 centre backs in the squads. I have 4 in my mind, and Cornelius isn't one of them. If that makes sense.
I think he's a squad player and he'll get minutes. So to me, he's an impact
Yeah.
sub.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree. He's been in plenty of squads. He's only got 14 appearances though. He's not highly
Well,
experienced.
He only really started to get games around the Gold Cup time.
Yeah. And it's hard to say what he'll do, right? Because now we're going up against other kinds of competition instead of just
And again,
random islands.
Sure, he plays in Greece, but that's a little bit of a European exposure that he could bring to Croatia or Belgium.
But also like it's Europa League and Champions League, all that stuff. So I would put him at impact sub. I think I'd put him at impact sub. I'd be in between.
We can't have everyone be an impact sub. We gotta have some who are just squad players.
We got 8, 9 players down and below that.
No, we got free and squad player.
Yeah.
Are you telling me you'd bring Derek Cornelius on as an impact sub during a game?
I'm saying he could be, yeah. If we have a lead,
in what context?
if we have a 1-goal lead and we want a defender to come on, he's a guy.
You bring other people on in front of him, like central defensive midfielders, or Laryea, or like Scott Kennedy.
It depends on the situation. Okay, first of all, Scott Kennedy is more than a starter than Cornelius, yes. But I think Cornelius gets minutes at the World Cup, so therefore impacts up because he's not starting, but he's going to get minutes.
Okay.
Hey, Andre agrees with me.
I gotta put him at an impact sub. I do. I just genuinely think that we could actually, if we go up, he's bringing down. I think if we go up, Herman's gonna go all defense. I think he's gonna literally try to park the bus because I think it's gonna be a panic moment. But moving on,
Right,
moving
so
on
nice
to
and
the
easy one
actual,
next.
Oh, what the fuck? Who we got next?
Samuel Payet.
Oh, is it Piet? Okay. It's out of our fun little running
You've lost
order.
the last 2 battles, so I'll give you this one. Where do you put him?
I actually
player.
don't know.
Huh?
Squad player?
Squad player.
Okay.
Actually, I would. I'd say the same. I've not been happy with his performances for the national team lately.
Okay, I'll just bite my tongue. Here you go. There you
No,
go.
Thank you for humouring me.
Now, here's the thing. 2 years ago, not a fucking chance. Now, I just don't think he's just not. It's not there. It's just not.
But like
there
I said,
now.
he started against Qatar and Uruguay. That means something.
I'm not counting those. I'm
It
counting
means
the
that
past
Hutchinson
games.
and Osorio were injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. Well, as you said previously, those 2 are questionable.
But
So
if
those 2
they're-
are injured.
if
Is he
they're
not a starter?
Moving on.
I'd rather bring them on as subs over him, though.
Moving on. Moving on. We have the most
Moving on.
important player, and if you put him anywhere other than Alphonso Davies, I'm gonna fucking slap you.
Captain Sweatpants.
Oh, we could take his sweatpants and put them in Alphonso Davies. And
Hold up, I have an argument. For this. To me, he is elite, not Alphonso Davies, because he's very good.
I'll still take a lead. But actually,
He's been our number 1 for years. He's made big saves like one in Mexico. He's a great goalie. But to me, what puts him as elite, opposed to maybe higher, is the club he plays for.
I know.
could
I know.
better.
But he's got the club loyalty, and I think that's kind of hurting him a little bit. But
Yeah,
he's
maybe.
got so much international experience and proving time and time again that he can he's instrumental because he's not just a good keeper, but he's also good at controlling the line.
So we can agree with elite.
I've been charmed. I was thinking I'd put him into starter, but I've been charmed into elite. I think a big key point as well is his leadership skills.
Yeah.
Like he is effectively like
Massive.
a second captain or even a second manager on that team. You see just how passionate he is, and it brings it out of the team. It brings out the fans. The way he celebrates saves is like infectious whenever you watch Canada play.
Oh,
Yeah,
that man could lead an orchestra. Like,
oh yeah,
absolutely. Like just by waving that glove around, wearing that sweatpants, letting his dick swing, he could easily.
Oh shit! Hold up, pause. We have lost Paul.
Everyone, Paul here. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe so you never miss a moment of the FC13 podcast on YouTube.